Hey guys, doing this Mike the Star Turtle. This is my review for Game of Thrones, Season 6, Episode 4, Book of the Stranger. Best episode of the season so far. So, spoiler warning. I know I don't usually do this, but I really should. Spoiler warning, if you haven't seen this episode, don't watch this, unless you don't care about spoilers. But anyway, right off the bat, we get something that we almost never get on the show. An actual honest-to-God reunion. I mean, technically, even in that first episode of the first season, the original pilot, Jon and Sansa never even had one scene together. I think it's briefly mentioned in the books that they don't get along because, he's the bastard and Sansa's a true-born daughter, so... But, yeah, they saw each other the first time in, I don't even know how long... the show is... Now, I assume it's about each season takes place over the course of about a year, but it's weird sometimes. Certain characters' plots seem to travel, seem to go at a much. Basically, certain characters a larger amount of time seems to pass with their stories than others, basically. But yeah, it's been years since they saw each other. But yeah, it was nice hearing them both say they never should have left Winterfell. Although, if they hadn't, they may actually be dead right now. So, but it was a blessing in disguise. But yeah, Sansa's finally gotten to the point where she's doing some cool shit because she wants to take back Winterfell. Like, fuck Ramsay, we want to fucking hang him and flay him and burn him alive. And we want to take back Winterfell because it belongs to our family, belongs to the fucking Starks. And we are the motherfucking Starks. And Jon at this point he's had it. He's burnt out. He's done a bunch of honorable shit, and just like his father and brother before him, got rewarded with death. And he was brought back to life, unlike them. He was lucky enough or unlucky enough. It's arguable. And he's kind of had enough. And another thing that the show hasn't really gone into too much yet, but because I remember I saw an interview with Kit Harington, and he talked about how another big part of it is that Jon's lost his nerve. He's just... Now that he's died and just saw nothing but blackness, nothing else, he doesn't want to go back there. He's afraid to die. He didn't used to be, but now he is. Now that he's actually died, he does not want to die again. That's another major factor of why he's so hesitant to jump back into the fray. And at first, he's not convinced until we finally get the pink letter, the bastard letter, whatever you want to call it. Winterfell belongs to Ramsay right now. The North belongs to Ramsay. Come and see. And if you don't, then, a lot of horrible things are going to happen because it's Ramsay, and nobody's better at doing horrible things than he. Even Joffrey isn't as good at doing horrible things as Ramsay. So it was... But that's the final straw that convinces even Jon to, okay, we got to do something. Oh, he's still... There's obviously a big battle coming. I just hope he doesn't end up panicking and I don't think we're gonna get to see a fight between him and Ramsay, because this whole storyline between the war between the Boltons and the Starks right now is probably the most cliche the show's ever been. I mean, it's emotionally satisfying moment that we're actually getting to see this confrontation finally play out that we've been waiting a long time to see, so it's satisfying. But it is noticeably cliche, and this is one show that's definitely good at being almost never cliche. So I'm calling it right now, at least one of those two, either Jon or Sansa, is going to be dead by the end of the season. Probably Sansa. We'll see. Because we can only get so much happiness on this show. But the wildlings are definitely on their side. That's nice to know, because if no reason, because Ramsay threatened them directly. not just the Starks. So Tormund's got some skin in the game, as well as owing Jon his life for what he did at Hardhome. It was also fun to see him pretty much pining over Brienne. I'm not sure what's going to become of that, but that was amusing to see, at least, and she not even knowing how to deal with it. In fact, the only line she even got in the whole episode was telling Davos and Melisandre that she's the one who killed Stannis herself. But Davos still doesn't know that Melisandre burned Shireen alive. He was trying to get her to talk, and she was still being vague. Probably because she has more faith in the Lord of Light now that Jon's she managed to resurrect Jon. She pretty much she's obviously on his side. Wherever he goes, she goes, according to her. So the second Davos finds out what really happened, he'll probably kill her. So she probably knows that, and that's why she's no intention of telling him that. But I'm sure he'll find out eventually, or maybe he'll die before he finds out. We never know with this show. Davos is probably the most pure good character left alive in this show right now. So, I mean, be ready for him to die at any moment. I mean, I hope he doesn't, but you gotta remember, this is Game of Thrones. But yeah, all they got 2,000 wildlings. They still don't even know that the Boltons have the Manderleys, the Karl Starks, and even the Umbers. But at least they know about Rickard. Speaking of Rickard, we didn't even get to see him in this episode. We briefly got to see Osha again, or Asha, whatever her name is. One of them is the original name of Theon's sister in the books. I don't remember which, but I think maybe I'm wrong. It's Osha or Asha. I haven't heard anybody say her name in 3 seasons because we haven't. This is the first time we saw her last. This was the first time we've seen her since season 3. And she shows up literally just to die. Like, that's it. Like, it was a nice tense little scene where she's trying to manipulate Ramsay. Ramsay certainly likes his women wild, but like at first you think, is he kind of stupid? Because like kind of leaving the knife there. Then you realize no, he knew the whole time. He deliberately had he was deliberately in charge of the whole scene from the second she entered that room. And he just put the knife there, probably just to make it more interesting, because we know he likes doing that kind of shit. And he remembers what Theon told him. Theon told him everything, including about how she seduced him into allowing the boys to escape back when Theon had control of Winterfell, and he was prepared. We never get to see her interact at all with Rickard. So Rickard. I can't pronounce his name right for some reason. I don't know. I was just calling him Rick. We never even got to see her interact with Rick at all. We didn't see one. We could have at least gotten like one brief conversation. I'm sure there's gonna be deleted scenes. There's gotta be some deleted scenes with them talking, just like because she's dead. Definitely the first major recurring character death we got in this season. Aside from Alistair. Alistair obviously was Alistair and Ollie. But no one likes them, so he gives a shit. You know who else we saw for the first time in a long time? Good old Peter Littlefinger Baelish. He's Sweet Robin of the Vale is still pretty much his bitch, and Robin almost throws one of their devoted knights, Sir Royce, I think his name is, out the moon door until Littlefinger convinces him otherwise, because he's still a badass knight. We want him on our side, if nothing else. As long as he learns to bow his head and toe the line, because I'm the guy who's really in charge. We're still not sure if he even really cares about Sansa. And I really do think he has an infatuation for Sansa, if nothing else, because he wanted Catelyn and never got her. So Sansa's the next best thing. Still not sure what his ultimate game is. I mean, obviously he still wants to rule Westeros. We kind of made that clear before. But not sure what his current game is. We'll see what happens. But it definitely seems like he's going to lend the Knights of the Vale support to Sansa. That seems that way. We'll see if that actually goes to pass. Theon has returned home. Though his sister wants nothing to do with him, at least not until he declared his support for her to become ruler. Not sure what else to say about that. But she's still pissed at him because she risked her life and lives a bunch of her men who ended up getting killed trying to rescue him. And what happened? He bit her and ran right back into the cage. So I guess you can't blame her for being upset. But he's still better than he's still recovered a lot compared to the last time we saw him. But like, you should be getting more emphasis on dude, you don't have no idea what Ramsay did to me. Like, you cut off my dick, you don't know that, but trust me, you would be his bitch for a while if he did that to you, and it would happen to anyone. But so I haven't seen Uncle Euron since episode 2. I imagine he'll be making a return in a big way pretty soon for the King's Moot. Funny how one of the most morally reprehensible people in Westeros, or one of the few people who actually practice democracy in any way, aside from the Night's Watch, but they're not very good people either, as we've come to find out. Meereen. Tyrion is finally doing something proactive as the de facto ruler of Meereen in Dany's absence. And although it's arguable what he did was the right thing, it may have been the best. At the very least, it buys time. But yeah, pretty much allowing the slavers of Yunkai and Ashenpor and Volantis to keep their slaves for 7 more years, which kind of makes sense. I mean, like, I sometimes wonder that if we'd given the South this is the United States, if we'd given the South more leeway and more time to end slavery within a period of years, that if they'd done it gradually, there wouldn't be so much bigotry and hatred and racism in the South that lasts ever so long, so like a century afterwards, and still kind of goes on to this day to a large extent. Maybe it still would have, I don't know. But it makes you think. I mean, I despise slavery, obviously. I'm totally against slavery. I think anyone even suggests that slavery should be instituted again, like, you know, a certain Mr. Bundy. They should be mutilated alive, just my opinion, but Grey Worm and Missandei are obviously pissed at Tyrion for making this compromise, and even giving the slavers a really, really hot chick. I'm not sure if they don't specifically make clear if they're taking the girls home with them, or if they're just entertaining them for the rest of the day. They don't make that clear, but I don't blame Missandei and Grey Worm for being pissed. But at least they help them out when some of the freed slaves Meereen try to question what's going on. They claim that Tyrion doesn't know who he's dealing with. But Tyrion at the same time knows that he does know. So yeah, these are slavers. We don't really have slavers in Westeros. But at the same time, I know these kind of people. I know their weakness. Their weakness is ultimately for profit. That's the main thing they care about. And the more they keep underestimating people like us, the better. Like I said, nothing else just buys time until Dany gets back. At the same time, even with her dragons, sooner or later she's gonna have to go back to Westeros. And when that happens, she's gonna take she's gonna take her Unsullied, and obviously I'll talk about that later. But the other people she has now with her, and I'm not sure who's gonna be left behind to guard the cities. So, but anyway, so King's Landing. It's nice to finally see Cersei and Olenna finally realizing, yeah, we really gotta work together right now, because the Sparrows at this point have pretty much controlled most of the city. And even Cersei's like, yeah, it would kind of be hurt both of us at this point if Marjorie would be dragged through the streets naked just like I was. Even if Cersei would like nothing more than to watch that, only for days on end instead of just a few hours like it was her. She would love that, let's face it. But even she realized at this point, we can't let the Faith have be any more in control than they already are. But the thing is, though, the High Sparrow, I still think that he's more of a genuine person than they are. He's still a fanatical religious zealot, but he generally has done a lot of good for people aside from being a serious homophobe, which I'll go into in a second. But like, if they storm the temple, like, there's gonna be chaos over the damn city. And then like Lady Elena's like, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of death no matter what we do, but I have a feeling that it's gonna maybe not backfire, but it's gonna suffer some serious losses for both families when they do this. Because the High Sparrow's got a lot of friends throughout the city. Like he's rallied a lot of the common people to his side, because he's done a lot of good for the common people out of the goodness of his heart and love for the gods, as opposed to the Lannisters and even the Tyrells, who just whenever they help people, it's only for their benefit, and people are starting to realize that, yeah. Because Lannisters and Tyrells are both assholes. Let's face it. Tyrells less a little bit, but still assholes. They still don't give a shit about anything else other than themselves. We got another really nice, brilliantly acted, brilliantly written monologue by High Sparrow. I know a lot of people are kind of getting sick of his monologues, and I can understand that. But we got to see him explain like how he actually became a member of the Faith. He started out as a cobbler, and at first you think that Marjorie's actually buying into it until she meets her brother again for the first time in a while. She's like, yeah, the whole reason she put me in here is she wants me to help you. He wants me to help him break you, and I'm not going to do that. But Loras is already kind of broken. Like, and you remind her that, yeah, the only reason he was in here at all is because he's gay. That's the only reason why he's in there. I don't really go into it, but it's hinted that he may have suffered worse abuse than the others. He kind of just wants it to end, and Cersei's trying to pep talk him, but he's just broken. And he's one of the most badass fighters in and left alive in King's Landing, or all of Westeros, not King's Landing, all of Westeros. And we never even just really seen him fight. I really hope to at least see him fight before he dies, because I think he probably won't live past this season. I think most of the people in King's Landing may not live past, maybe not most, but a lot of people in King's Landing are not going to live past this season. But we'll find out. Finally, we get the Valis Dothrak. Jorah and Daario, like, going through their usual spats. Obviously, both in love with Dany and kind of being alpha male, but at the same time, still realizing they both need to get past differences and rescue her. Daario finally learns that Jorah has grayscale. They both crush a dude's head with a rock. That was funny. Dany gets to know more about the Dosh Khaleen, and the thing is, she's listening to the head chick, the really older chick, and she's really taking what she's saying seriously. Maybe not to heart, but definitely seriously. Because remember, she feels a lot of, feels, what's the word? Close, I guess, to the Dothraki, because everything she went through in season 1. And she even bonded with some of the other girls, one of which suffered some serious abuse on the call she married, and like she definitely feels genuine sympathy to a lot of the members of the Dosh Khaleen. But then she briefly meets Daario and Jorah, but then she realized, no, I'm not going to leave right now, but I have a plan. So she goes before all the Khals, including what's his name, Morrow. She just starts talking smack to him, just talking up a big game, and of course, like, because they haven't decided for sure if she's gonna be part of the Dosh Khaleen, so this is supposed to decide that. And Morrow's like, you know what, fuck you, bitch. We're just gonna rape you all. I mean, sorry, we're just all gonna rape you to death at this point. Then maybe we'll have our horses do it too. And throughout his whole little speech, she just keeps up that confident, arrogant smile. Which means, yeah, okay, she's got to have some kind of trick up her sleeve. But I don't think it's going to be the dragon. It's the nighttime, and the scene we see from the trailer with the dragon showing up, with Drogon showing up is in the daytime. So what's going on? What is this all about? And then remember, she's still fireproof. Something that apparently is not true in the books, but that's just more use of blood magic. But in the show, she actually is fireproof. And she just tips over that huge oil lamp, or whatever, a coal lamp, whatever the hell it's called. And it's not entirely clear if the tent was laced with some kind of flammable liquid, although it must have been odorless, or else the Khals would have smelled it. But cause I don't feel like the thing would have caught fire that easily if it wasn't for that. But yeah, the whole place catches on fire. Morrow and a couple other guys almost managed to escape, but then she dumps the last pole onto them, and they just get engulfed in flames, which almost begs the question if she's controlling the fire to some extent. We don't really know. I don't think so, but they all burn horrible deaths. They're all pieces of shit anyway, so who gives a shit? And with her clothes burnt off, she walks out of the tent naked, and everyone, even the Dosh Khaleen, bow before her. And even Daario's like kind of amazed, and Jorah's happy to have her back. And apparently she was not double. That actually was her naked, despite her no nudity clause. She actually agreed to be naked for this particular scene, at least. You know, it kind of looked like CGI when I was watching it, but I don't know. She swears it was her. So, all right, I trust her. The thing about Dany is, like the past few seasons, actually almost pretty much since season 1, she's kept winning and winning, and never really suffered any significant losses. And just when you think she's about to suffer a significant loss, something happens, and she basically manages to just pull through and get through it. Which makes me wonder that by the end of the season she might be due for a big loss, because she hasn't suffered like a serious loss in a long time. It's like, and then she's due for one. So I feel like, especially after this episode, like when everything just looked like she was about to get raped, like again, like only way worse than what Sansa got it, but she thanks to Matt, just to her superpower magic, whatever it is, she managed to pull through and get out of that and kill all the bad guys, and now she's got control of all the Dothraki apparently, and we gotta assume this is probably gonna happen at some point, because where else is she gonna get the army? Because she's not enough to solely do the job in Westeros. So, but I think she's due for a big loss. All in all, really good episode. I really do hope that Jon and Brienne, John shows Sansa and Brienne and Pod what the wall looks like, what the true north looks like. Just take it up to the top of the wall and have them all see it before they leave. I was really when the horn first blew at the very beginning, I thought it was going to be 3 horn blows, signal White Walkers. I would like to just see the White Walkers, if not advance on the wall, just all kind of assemble outside the wall and like have them all see it and maybe have like Sansa realize, oh shit, this is real. But we'll see what happens. But looking forward to seeing what happens next episode.